Gamers, we've got opinions, and all of them suck.
And Sonic 1 is a non-issue, it's a terrible game.
Heyo, and welcome to my channel. I'm MangaKamen. Sit back for a bit and listen to me rant. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to drop a like and click that subscribe button. Oh god, I hate saying that at the beginning of videos. Opinions! Everyone's got them. Everyone's entitled to them, but some people are more entitled to them than others. Like, nowadays, thanks to our internet landscape, we've now gotten to the point that people are willing to rip each other's throats out for simply stating such opinions, even about things that are mostly just done for a hobby, like video games.
No straight roads would be that, okay? It's not that at all. It is a case of some enemies do move with the beat.
Great! You owe me a TV, mate.
For example, you only need to look at something like The Last of Us 2, which in retrospect was pretty much a garbage fire.
Nice.
No matter where you stand with that game, it's easy to see that it was quite a divide. On one hand, you had people who loved the game and enjoyed it, as well as painting people who had issues with the game as terrible people.
Or just, there were the same people who were hating on Ellie being gay whenever that came out. But yes, this game has been majorly leaked. And, you know, Naughty Dog has received a lot of backlash from it. Like, there's people being very homophobic and transphobic and mean to Neil Druckmann because his vision that he was writing with his story.
That was truly cringeworthy.
And that's putting it lightly. Meanwhile, you had those who had issues with said game and voiced said opinions, but also came off as vitriolic as well. Not helping was Naughty Dog having a load of crunch time with their employees, and with Sony copyright striking people's videos that were talking about the leaks for this game, you essentially had yourself a PR nightmare.
You just realize, okay, the worst happened. The worst way that this game could be presented already happened. Like our worst fear. Because we did so much to try to protect the story, right? Including putting fake shots in trailers and swapping skins on characters. And
well, it was fun while it lasted. Goodbye, everybody! It was a situation that apparently got swept up into a blamed us versus them sort of narrative, with plenty of bad actors in the middle and on either side doing what they could to make things worse. Now, watch as someone decides to think they know my opinion because I'm daring to explain my perspective of events and think I'm condoning either side. Because people are stupid like that. Honestly though, looking at current gaming trends, people tend to start practical wars over gaming opinions nowadays. Maybe it's because we're still cooped up in our homes for going for several months and social media's been pretty much on fire. Let's face it, people get bored, and when people get bored, they lose their minds. Trust me, I know from experience. So, the reason why I'm making this video is because a couple of days ago, it was announced that the sequel to the popular The World Ends With You game was coming out next year. And that's pretty sweet. Cool, right? A game that about 15 years old is finally getting a sequel. Here's hoping that it won't be trash. But something weird started to show up. Something odd. Yeah, for some reason, Persona 5 got trending on Twitter, and as you can obviously tell from my artwork down below for my character, I obviously think Persona 5 is a perfect game, and people ragging at Persona 5 fans would boil my blood, right? Well, despite the fact that I've made videos criticizing both Royal and the original game, I don't hold Persona 5 as the pinnacle of game design and fun. That's Metal Gear Rising, of course. No, what I've learned, and learned the hard way, is that people want to believe something hard enough on the internet, and there's nothing you can do to stop people from perpetuating something. Case in point, the reason why Persona 5 was trending, as you can plainly see, it was claiming that a lot of Persona 5 fans were saying that The World Ends With You sequel looks like Persona 5. People certainly were talking about that, being unaware that they were the ones who made Persona 5 trending by complaining about this complaint. And from what I could actually tell, the only tweets that I could see were actually making this claim were those who were obvious trolls or are playing around. Maybe there were people who are actually being honest and making this claim that The World Ends With You sequel is being claimed to take inspiration from Persona 5. I mean, the only reason I can see that being the case is because both games take place in the modern times in Shibuya, but it's also due to the fact that the latest Yakuza game, and even one of the more recent Fire Emblem games, were getting those comparisons, both actually getting articles from game journalists making the comparison. The games have a calendar system and a social system akin to Persona 5. At least that's what the articles say. So let's put something to rest immediately. Just because there's a calendar system or a day system in the game, that doesn't mean it's taking inspiration from Persona. Games have had systems like this all the time. Things like Pokemon had a day and night and week system in place for ages. Legend of Mana, the Atelier series, Rune Factory, and many more. And the same can be said of social systems in games as well as personal stats. Just because there are elements in a game series that are shared, that doesn't mean inspiration was taken from another series. The only way to know for sure is if you are the developer, and developers come out talking about their inspiration, or you somehow became Mentok the Mind Taker. That being said, people were so quick to jump on Persona 5 fans for this. Now, I can understand that it can obviously be seen as a joke, but there are people who did take this seriously. Then again, people don't seem to know how to actually read disclaimers that say this is a joke, so I get that fandoms can be annoying. I get that fandoms can be annoying as all hell. Trust me, I know from first-hand experience dealing with people who like Ruby, people who like random YouTubers that I've criticized, and of course, the most annoying, lizard people. But stuff like this is only going to drive a wedge and poke and prod, and this isn't like a singular offhand comment that people ironically did. I got no problem with joking around with fan bases, and I don't have a problem criticizing a fan base for their actions.
The function of a rubber duck.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
9!
However, when most of this is done from trolls and people taking them seriously to the point that the actual game that got showed, The World Ends With You, is overshadowed, that's really funny to me. And kinda sad that this game, a sequel of a very popular title, got overshadowed because something I would legitimately call stupid. Then again, I'm making a rant video about this stupidity that happened a few days ago and probably wasting people's time with it, so checkmate, I guess. I think what really gets me about this whole situation, like, I'm willing to admit that this is probably a joke. I understand I'm taking this too seriously, and I don't want to demonize people who said this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's not really hurting anyone, but it's just something that I find interesting to talk about. I think what really gets me nowadays is that people on the internet are so quick to throw fuel on the fire, especially for things that are really minor in the grand scheme of things. Like, the whole Pokemon community was practically broken in two last year because of Sword and Shield, and I made my own opinion clear that while the games are standard for Pokemon games, but were lackluster in comparison to previous entries, and that Pokemon hasn't been up to snuff as of late. Still, you saw people who were fine with the game and those who were critical of it, and taking it a bit further than other on both sides. And this isn't me saying that people like what they want to like, or you can't criticize things, or every criticism is valid. You can make general statements like that about groups of people, even for stupid things like if you like a game or not. And I try to stay away from those sorts of things. Keyword, try. I fail at it, but hey, I'm only human. Not even I have gotten away from the insanity of 2020, but if you ask me, so long as someone isn't being malicious or outright lying about these people or products, and done in a serious manner, of course, I don't think someone should be ousted for liking a game or disliking a game. As long as the whole deal isn't rooted in malicious intent, mind you.
Now you're just being nasty.
The world's on fire. There's no need to actually go out and about and make people feel bad for liking things. Criticizing and voicing your own opinion is fine, but I feel like we shouldn't be actively making things worse for people, especially when it's as simple as being a fan of something. Like, make fun of the fans do, not what they like. Criticize the actions. Then again, this is someone who's currently working on a new Ruby video where I'm going to tear into issues of Volume 8 at this point, but so who knows, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. Keep safe. Click that like button and it hurts every time I say it. Oh, the pain. But to be serious, I do appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Thanks. Things have been hard this year, and it looks like it's going to bleed into the next year, but I do hope that you're at least all being safe. I'm MangaKamen, and remember one last thing. Never piss off Kiryu.